It's going to be live?
Yeah, it will be on YouTube, but the most viewers I have on my Instagram. So I use YouTube just to record the video, and then it's easy to take, very fast. It's much more convenient. So first of all, thank you so much for your readiness to be my guest, because to be honest, I started this project in the end of May when we had this quarantine situation. It was not clear when we start to play, and I thought just why we don't speak with other press attaché from other countries, from other clubs. And I started from Belarus, then it was Kazakhstan, and I couldn't imagine that one day I will talk to you and to Benfica. It's a big honor for me. And first of all, thank you for your time and that you're ready to talk to me.
Well, you're welcome. We are glad to help a professional project like this. And individual projects are always have to be nurtured for everybody, because I think when you invest in yourself, you always give everything that you have. So if we can help you bring the best that you have and help you on your project, for me, it's good, and I have no problem. Thank you to have us here in your live interviews, whatever it's your what they call it, press attaché, right?
Yes. And you know, maybe it's kind of joke, but I hope you told me that your wife today has a birthday, and you will not have a problem with her for this interview.
No. Here it's still a good time. It's a labor time, so at night I will be with her. There's no problem.
Okay, perfect. And because Benfica is something special for me, because you know, after Euro 2000 and this magnificent game of Portugal national team, Nuno Gomes, Luis Figo, I just discovered that such a club as Benfica exists. And I started to watch some games. You know, in Russia, it's quite difficult. And when I got older, I had an aim to visit any game of Benfica. And for me, very special, it's maybe 3 events. First time I saw Benfica in St. Petersburg. I think it was 2012, maybe.
Yeah, we lost 2-3.
Yes. It was.
I was there.
Yes, it was the best 16 of Champions League.
Yeah.
And
then we won at home.
Yes, and my story was that I came to the stadium, and I was a normal spectator among the fans of Zenit. And then in halftime, I thought, why not? I tried to get to Benfica stands. I started to speak English, and I said, one guy, sorry guys, I'm from Portugal, I want to support Benfica. And you know, they let me go there, and I was cheering for Benfica the second half. And you know, these emotions, people was hugging each other when Benfica scored, was just amazing. Maybe you can say some words about these games in Russia, and also about the second game in Portugal.
I was there. I was one of the games that I was doing while a reporter, because I was a journalist on the Benfica TV. I started in the project when it started. So I was there. I remember it was very, very cold for what we are used here.
That's true.
But it was really cold. I remember our players hitting the chest because they were having difficulties on breathing normally. I remember the journalists were writing with a pencil because the ink on the pens froze. So that cold, it was very cold. Then we lost 3-2. Zenit had a very good team, very, very good team. We lost 3-2. Everything was open for the second game, and here in Stadium of Light, as we usually do with Zenit, we win. I think in Russia they win, in Portugal they win. There was one time that was the opposite. I don't know if you remember when they beat us in the Stadium of Light, and then we went to St. Petersburg and we beat them. I remember, I think it was Talisca and Jimenez, I think, that scored the goals. on St. Petersburg. Amazing town, amazing place to visit. I recommend always to the people that I speak when they speak to me about travels. I say St. Petersburg is amazing, even in the winter. It's
exactly.
it's very nice. Even though that when we are press officers or journalists, people tend to think that we know a lot of places. We travel a lot. We don't know so many places because we don't have time to, unfortunately, to see the cities.
But as I remember, after that, you had 2 more games with Zenit in St. Petersburg, or maybe 3. I could mistake.
I think we had.
I remember 0-0, and once Zenit won like 2-0, maybe.
They beat us here in the Stadium of Light.
Yeah. Yes.
And then we beat them in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
And last year, 3 I think was 3-1.
Yes.
And
exactly.
3-0 for us at Stadium of Light. But always I don't not say equal games for both teams, but it's one. How you say every any team can win. In this, I think it's the Russian champion. Against, in my opinion, what is the best team in Portugal. So always unpredictable results.
Actually, last year game in St. Petersburg, it was the first game of Benfica in St. Petersburg. I didn't visit because now I'm working in Sochi, and I was a bit upset. Even I thought about flying there maybe, but then I said, okay. But It was interesting. The second thing I want to ask you, it's the game we started to talk before our live stream. It's the game Benfica against Porto. It was January 2013. For me, it was a magnificent experience. As I told you, I bought this T-shirt in Lisbon. I visited the Benfica Museum, and as people told me, it was just opened some months ago or even some weeks ago. It was amazing for me. And also, first time I visited the football game, Estadio da Luz, and it was this performance with Eagle. So maybe you have some memories from that time also you can share.
You're talking about the Benfica Porto in
2-0
2014.
Yes.
Yeah.
14 maybe. Yes. Yeah.
14. Yeah, 14. This was the first game that we played after Eusebio passed away.
Exactly.
What I remember from that game, it was a very emotional week for us because Eusebio was, for us, we call him the king. He is the king for us. Is the biggest player that played for Benfica, and for me, one of the top 3 players of the world ever. It was very emotional because we had a week that we had to deal with his death, with the funeral. All nation was brought together because of the biggest Portuguese idol. And for the game, I remember it's raining. Everybody was very emotional, and I believe that there's no way that we wouldn't win that game. The players were focused. I don't know. Even the gesture of Rodrigo when he scores the first goal, because they had the Eusebio name on the shirts, if you remember.
Yes. It was every player had this.
And it was one of the best games I watched live in this stadium, because not only because of the football they played, but by the emotional charge that was involved. As I told you, I was a journalist in Benfica TV for 9 years, since the beginning of the project until some years ago, and that day I was coordinating the mission, the broadcasting. It was brutal, because all that week the statue where Eusebio was, I don't know if you remember that, full of scarves.
And full of flowers also.
Yeah, full of flowers. And for me, it was very special because I covered all, as a journalist, all of that. It's the say goodbye to the king was very special for me, because since I was born, it was Benfica, Benfica, Benfica. My father gave me a comic book of the story of the Black Panther. That's what we call them, Pantera Negra. And I would read that comic book. I read the comic book, I don't know how many times. So I knew all the story of the king. Unfortunately, was one of the few persons, great identities of Benfica that I didn't interview. That's the only thing that I look back and I say, oh my God, that's the only one I missed is the best ever. But so for me was very important, that game all week, and I think for all the fans. And then we won the game, and then we went straight to the title and the UEFA Europa League final also.
So maybe I was lucky to be at this game on the stadium, because once I saw Benfica, it was especially this game.
I believe that if you see a game in Stadium of Light and then you feel everything around the game, you will be definitely a Benfica fan. It's an amazing atmosphere, amazing fans.
Yes.
Very, very demanding. Very demanding. But that's what we want from our club. They always want the best, and they are fantastic. So if you go to a football game of Benfica in our stadium, you will leave it with a Benfica shirt on, for sure.
Actually, coming back to St. Petersburg, after the match I visited in Champions League, I exchanged scarves. I had a Zenit scarf, and the guy from Portugal had Benfica scarf, and I saved it. And later, when I watched Benfica games, I always was watching with Benfica scarf these games.
Yeah, it suits good in everybody.
Yeah. Yes, and I learned this glorioso SLB, especially from that game.
Yeah, you have to have a degree in Portuguese to learn the Benfica anthem. The song that they hear before.
I know. Yeah.
It's harder to understand or to say it, but
yes, it's very high.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. It's the most prettiest song in the world.
But we come back to traditions because I have some questions about that. And talking back about Eusebio, I want to ask you if you know him personally. You told that you didn't do any interviews with him, right?
No. I didn't have the chance to make an interview with Eusebio, but I knew him personally, not as a friend or someone close to him, but as with my job, I knew him. I would say, good morning, King. Good afternoon, King. Thank you.
Just as King? Really? You call him like that?
Yeah, I call him like that. For me, it's like Eusebio is the king. And for example, Rui Costa, I always call him Maestro because Rui Costa is top player, one of my favorite players ever also. Yeah. But the king was the king.
But maybe you can explain a little bit what was the role of Eusebio, because I think people in Russia, I don't know about other countries, they always saw him at the stadiums, Euro 2004, international games. But what was his role at Benfica?
The role in Benfica was, I think he had a lot of roles in passage in Benfica since ever. As a player, he was a coach. He was the one that found Rui Costa as a football player in the little ones. And then in the end, was practically was an ambassador, So for the national team, for Benfica, and he was Benfica, so he was allowed to be whatever he want. But I don't know as much to say it correctly and what we would do here, but I know it was an ambassador of Benfica, a very important person for the club and for Portugal, for Benfiquistas and for the Portuguese. But specifically in the latest days of him, it was an ambassador. He had always with white towel in the arm,
Yeah.
something like some superstition that he had was amazing.
So you said about Eusebio, Rui Costa, and my favorite football player was Nuno Gomes. And what could you tell kind about traditions? How do you use these legends of former times in your modern life? Maybe, for example, after the death of Eusebio, in Russia, in such cases, we organize tournaments named by the famous person. Maybe you have something like that or special events.
We have the Eusebio Cup. But he was alive when we start doing the Eusebio Cup. So we keep this tradition this latest years, even because of the tight schedule or the COVID or something else. We don't do it for some years now, but usually it's a traditional game on the beginning of the season in the Stadium of Light. But we have some figures. We honor them in the museum. If you go to the Benfica Museum, you have
of course.
A space all reserved to Eusebio. But we honor our players, and unfortunately we are losing because they are getting old, and we are losing some players now. But they are Eusebio, José Augusto, and a lot more. Ângelo, Costa Pereira, Mário Coluna. I interviewed him. Torres, Águas, Simões. That it's still alive, and José Augusto also. But even more in the past, when we won the Latin Cup, that was the cup that was existed before the European Champions Cup. I got to be lucky to know that some guys that were in that competition in 1950. The longest game in history.
Oh, really? How many minutes?
No more. It was 2 games, and then I think was 3 extra times. But I'm not correct. But I know it's the longest game in history.
So I remember from that game, Benfica Porto in 2014, I just came to the city and I saw on the screens was kind of TV show, and Nuno Gomes was one of the guests. And what can you say about him? I know that he was kind of ambassador in Russia during World Cup. He visited actually Sochi many times, but I was not here at that time. I also dreamed to meet him someday somewhere. And what is his role now in Benfica? He is employed in Benfica, or he's
not anymore. Now he's not. He was the director here in the Benfica campus, the training center where we have the youth, but not anymore. Now he's with his projects. I don't like to speak that much about how they are because I think it's
no problem.
But I can tell you one thing. By my experience, professional experience, and also by dealing with him on interviews or here in Benfica campus, an outstanding guy. Outstanding. Top. Perfect. Top guy. Fantastic.
I hope also, I somehow got his number. I texted him. He said, I'm ready for any interviews, but please without video because some commercial rights and his image. I don't know what does it mean, but maybe it's like that. And what about Sima?
He's a very nice guy, very, very nice guy.
I hope to meet him someday. What about Simão Sabrosa?
Simão I think now he's doing he has a program where he makes some comments to the games on the weekend. Fantastic player. Fantastic player, Simão Sabrosa. I remember when he arrived to Benfica or Barcelona, he would run so fast that sometimes he would fall to the front because he was like Flash, Amazing player. I don't know him personally. Simão is not from my time.
Okay.
I started in Benfica in 2006 as a guide tour. I would do visits to the stadium. I would guide the tourists, And then when I started 2006, he was playing in Benfica. But when I started as a journalist in Benfica TV, he was the year I think he left. It was the first year that Rui Costa was when he left football and started to be director. It was my first year as a journalist in Benfica TV.
Okay. So maybe we change a bit topic. I'm very curious about the project of Casa de Benfica, because I was studied in Hamburg for half a year, and I found this place there. I came, was so fantastic. You can watch the games of Benfica there, every game. There are a lot of scarves, the atmosphere, the people watching. So how does it work in general? For example, if I want to open Casa de Benfica in Sochi or in Moscow, maybe you can tell some words how these people, they're connected from different countries.
How it works, I cannot say exactly how you can do it. I know you
or
can
how
do
it
it.
starts, maybe when
it starts with your will.
No, I mean in the time. It was after the World War, or when it started to develop.
Oh, I cannot tell you exactly how, because I don't know. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
You know, I know a lot about history, about the history of Benfica, but we cannot know everything. I know that we have. It started many years ago. We had what we call filials.
Yes.
It's a lot of places and some clubs that would have the Benfica name also, and because there's a Portuguese in any corner of the world.
Yeah,
that's what we used to say, you know. And where is a Portuguese, there's a high chance of there is a Benfiquista, you know, a Benfica supporter. I don't know if it's true, but they say that's 10 million Portuguese in Portugal, 14 million people Portuguese around the world. So yeah, or more. Let me correct this. What they say is that 10,000 Portuguese in Portugal, 10 million.
10 million.
10 million to be precise. That's the correct. And 14 million around the world are Benfica supporters. If you go to Paris, I believe there's 1 million Portuguese. So there's a lot of Portuguese around the world. So where you can find a place where you can gather Portuguese and you have a Benfica tendency of supporters there, I believe you can try to reach Benfica, because we have a department that deals with all that stuff. You can reach. You say that you want, and then you have to show that you have the requirements to do it, because it's not enough for you to want. You have to have the requirements to do it, because all of them, they have the same image. For you to know that you arrived to
it's like franchise, like McDonald's.
Yeah, it's a franchise. Like a franchise, because you get to a place. The idea is you get there and you know that you are in a Benfica, in Casa of Benfica. You know, in Paris, in Algarve, in the cities of Algarve, there are a lot. In anywhere, you know. So that's, and you can buy stuff of Benfica. You have some of them, I think. I don't know if it's on all, but some of them you can buy tickets. In this, we had the elections for the presidency of Benfica 2 days ago, and some houses, in some casas Benfica, you could vote.
Wow!
So it's a work that started exists for a long time, but with this president we have some years now that. Is the president which has more years in the club. One of his ideas was to renew this thing of Casas Benfica in the years. They are doing an amazing job.
And only members can vote, right? And I mean that the only members they.
Yeah, you can be a member of the Casa.
Yeah.
I don't think that you have to be a member of Benfica, but I'm not sure. This is a world, man. I cannot know everything about it, but
yeah, no problem.
But you have to be, and if you're not a Benfica supporter, you can go there to see a game, man. Because we don't have nothing against nobody. We just want Benfica to win.
It's a good quote. But you know what I want to ask you? You said about the elections of president. It means that only people around the world, let's say, who somehow related to Casa do Benficas around the world, they vote, and there is no additional filter. Let's say that.
No. You have to have requirements to vote. You know, that's not that easy. You have to have. There's some requirements, and then it's not in every case. As I told you, some of them were ready to have.
Yeah,
to vote
but
because,
you know, my question is a bit different. I mean that only people choose the president. There is no special board, which
only the members.
Yeah,
members.
That was my question. Yeah, then it's clear. And there are any casas inside of Portugal also, or it's just for foreign countries?
No, it's mainly it's in Portugal.
Okay.
Mainly, a lot. I don't know the precise number, but there's a lot of casas do Benfica in Portugal.
But just to make it clear, there is no Casa do Porto, Casa do Sporting. It's just Benfica, right?
I think Sporting and Porto, Sporting has the one thing that they call him Núcleo. They also have, and Porto also have their places. I don't believe that they have so many like us, but they also have. So
also about the role of these casas, you said about watching football, tickets, but does it play all these casas kind of social role that people that they help somehow people maybe, I don't know, with any social projects?
Glad you ask. Once again, I will say that this is not my area. And,
yeah, I understand.
But maybe as a journalist, and if you know in my area, usually somehow we know more about the stuff in a bigger way when we are out and we can see everything because we are interested in everything. You know, when we are working inside, we are focused in one thing. You know,
I understand.
But in Casas do Benfica, they have it's like they continue the work of the club. I can tell you, for example, they have some they work. There's a lot of them work with sports projects. You know, with the kids playing futsal, athletics. You know, they have their own projects, cycling. Mm-hmm. So you can see, you go to Casa Benfica, and some of them they have sports. You know, in some of them play in competition, district competitions. You know, the teams play there. Casa Benfica do Seixal, Casa Benfica da Quarteira. It's not em Quarteira. So we have that. They have that role, social. You know, because they include the kids, they include the older one, the older folks that get to see the games. But there are numerous projects that they have. Also, we have the foundation of Benfica Foundation that also has a lot of projects to help those who need.
Okay, so maybe you can give me the contact of somebody who is responsible for that, because I understand that it's too broad a topic for you, and maybe a guy who is inside of this or a girl could explain.
I can
more.
give you the contact for you to do a program
because
also.
it's very interesting.
It's a world. It's a world, Alex. It's a world, and I would not. I'm not making I can give a little bit.
Yes, I understand.
A small picture, and when it's really, really a wide world.
Okay, then we come back to our football part. We were talking a lot about the legends of the club, but I can't avoid the question about the Gatman cars. What is your personal relation to this? And what do you think that the media, that they try to develop this history all the time when the Benfica got the finals, especially in European competitions? And did you try as a media of Benfica somehow to down all these gossips, maybe to make a joke of that, or it's very, very serious topic for you?
Look, I think people like myths, you know, people like the myth. even the story, as I know it, I think it's not quite like that, because the story says that he wanted more from the club. The club said no, and he said, "Okay, I'm leaving," and you'll never win again. So, and I don't know if that's what really happened, but the myth was there. As a fan, a Benfica fan, we in Portugal. I don't know if in Russia you say this, but in Portugal we have a saying that is like, "I don't believe in witches, but they exist." Something like that. I don't believe in curses, my friend. But the truth is, we went there much too many times, and we didn't win. Even with the kids, with 3 times with the kids, they didn't win. Sometimes because the fans, the opposite was better, and sometimes on penalties. I remember the story of Milan with Coluna getting injured. We were winning, and then in the second half, with one less player, we suffered 2 goals and we lost for Milan. I don't know. Yes, one shot to the bar in the last minutes of the game in Wembley against Man United in the 90 minutes, 1-1 would be 2-1, and I don't know. I don't believe in witches. For us, of course, you can minimize. We don't want to speak about it because it doesn't make sense. I don't believe the players have, even most of them don't know.
Maybe tension from the media, no?
No, they can they speak about it, but I think now it's more you guys from abroad, because they go get their stories. You talk about it more, and usually what happens is after the game, here comes the Bella Gutmann story, but I don't think it gets to the players. We don't have to do any particular thing, with the players. It doesn't get them. They know that they have to do everything to win. If they can, we win. But unfortunately, we didn't. So, and sometimes I have reasons to speak about other curses, but with some goalkeepers defending 1 meter in front of the goal, but okay.
But if we talk specifically about the Europa League finals, 2 lost finals, how many questions about this curse did you get after that games, and before the games?
As I was not press officer at the time, I was a journalist on Benfica TV.
Yeah, but you visited.
But you see, you hear. I cannot quantificate how many, but there is. You lost. Even now, when we lost in the final against Real Madrid, in the under-19, the UEFA Youth League, we lost. For example, we played with them 3 times, 2 times in semi-final. We win, I think 4-1, 4-2, easily. This last game, we played them in the final, we lost. So I don't believe in witches, my friend, but I don't know. But it's a topic more when they lose.
Yeah, I understand.
When we lose, there's someone who remembers, you believe Bella Gutmann? Before the game, maybe one question in 8 or 9. And
then maybe other uncomfortable topic for you, but the year 2013, Europa League final against Chelsea, 1-2. Championship game against Porto, 1-2, and also last minute goals. And then Guimarães again, 1-2. And what was that? How you felt at that time? It was just crazy.
How I felt it, was heartbreaking, my friend. Heartbreaking. I was a journalist back then, and was heartbreaking. And seeing the fans, in Amsterdam, was heartbreaking. At 90, Ivanovic scored that goal. was it was tough time, tough days, with this coach back then, also Jorge Jesus.
Yes.
But one time I was interviewing a coach, second coach of Trapattoni. His name is Álvaro Magalhães. He was a former player of Benfica in the 80s. And he was talking about the season 2004-2005 when we finally broke 11 years without winning a championship. And in that season, there was a game that they lost 4-1. And Álvaro Magalhães told in the interview that this defeat is the mother of a lot of victories. He told to the coach that back then. And I get back to that time in 2013. Those defeats in the eyes, I believe, I cannot speak for him, but I believe, and they talk about it, was okay, we lost, but we are so close to win. And the truth is, we lost that year. The next year, we win everything. We won everything. We just lost in the finals against Sevilla. Otherwise, we would win the 4-4. See, so we won there, and 4 years in a row we had everything in Portugal. No, so we lost it. We suffered. Was heartbreaking, but then we had our award in years
But
follow.
if you lose just one final, it's okay. But not okay. But still, it's not that hard. But 3 games, 3 very, very important games. It should be.
I don't know. I cannot speak about how they felt it here in the football team. But as a fan, it hurts, man. It hurts. It hurts a lot. You suffer. But then again, you have to trust the people that are involved in the team. And the truth is, we lost. But then we were fortunately to see Benfica win a lot of.
No. Maybe I ask from the perspective of media. Like, if you work in the club and the club has such big losses, what is the best strategy to behave in social media, in media? Keep silence, say words that we are so sorry, we try to get our best. Like, from your experience, from your impression of this year.
I think it depends of the games, Depends of
but
the moment.
These specific games, maybe.
I was not there. I was not there.
Okay.
I cannot say what they should have said, or because it would not be polite for me, speak what
of course.
they said. I can tell you what they did.
Yeah, that's good.
They get the responsibility. They assume the responsibility, but they believed, and they transmit to everybody that they believed in the work that they were doing. It was very tough. A lot of fans wanted the coach to leave Benfica back then. So a lot of pressure, but the president say no. Okay, it's my decision. I'm going to keep with him. I'm going to keep him. They assume the responsibility of Ed lose, but then again, we were in the final of the Portuguese Cup. We were in the final of the European Europa League, and we lost the championship 2 minutes extra time. In the not in the last, but one game to go.
Yeah.
But people talk about it because we're doing a fantastic season, right? But then we have to look also to the opponent, because we get there, but the opponent also get there. In this case, it was Porto. Porto also was doing maybe not playing that football that we were playing, but they get there, and in that moment they won that game, and they passed for the first position. But as I told you, I think the people here, because I was not here once again, believed in the work they were doing, and that there was a way, and that's the way that we're going to keep it. And then we won four championships titles in a row, and Europa League final also, and that's the one that for me it's here against Sevilla. It's very hard to digest as a fan.
Yeah, but you said about responsibility. The president took responsibility for these results, you said, or the coach?
Yeah, of course, because they were all in the same boat,
Yeah. And did you cry after these games? Not
who?
You? No.
No. I keep it to myself.
Okay.
I cried. I can tell you the truth. I cried for my club, my team. But I don't know. When we get older,
I know
it's tougher to. It's tougher. I think when you fell, it's a big fall. But it's for you to fall. I can tell you that one moment that I cried when I was as a professional and also as a fan, as when Eusebio died. I don't know if you remember that they put the coffin, in the middle of the stadium, and then they made the one lap. I was the reporter in the field. I was working in the field, and when the car passed by me, that's the only moment that I ever cried doing my job.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I even can't imagine it. It's something special.
Yeah, because you see was your idol, I never saw him play live, I only see footage of them on TV, but I had a comic book, always in my near my bed every
From
night.
childhood,
So when he passed, like everything, when someone dies, that last moment is when it happened, that's the only moment that I cried while I was working.
Great.
You're a journalist. You cannot cry
when you work.
Yeah.
Talking about traditions, also you have this, I think, great tradition with eagle flying around the stadium each game. Maybe also you have some stories about that and how it was invented, if you know exactly, and when it started.
The idea was brought by us. I think it was by a Spanish. I know him personally. He brought the eagle for an idea to. I don't know if he brought the eagle or someone asked him to do the flight of the eagle when the stadium was opened, the first game. I don't know who had the idea. If he approached Benfica, or Benfica approached him, and there was such a success that it stayed. Okay, you're gonna do another one. Do another one. I had the eagle here. Because when I was doing guided tours to the stadium, one of the parts was the part of the eagle, and I would know all the text that they would say about the eagle, 2 meters stand, wing spread, what they eat, amazing animal, amazing.
I remember the fans they were cheering when the eagle was just in front of them, like all the treatments. It's like the wave around the stadium.
Yeah, and there are fans, if you like, superstitions that believe that if the eagle doesn't land on the symbol, Benfica will not win. It's a myth also because Benfica wins. But there are fans that have superstitions with the eagle. If the eagle doesn't land on the symbol, people say, "Oh my God, today is not going to be a good day."
But he land differently, or
sometimes. Because there's a lot of things that can happen during a game, the rain, the fans, I don't know I don't know about the Eagles, but maybe they're not in the mood of landing there. Sometimes it's very, for example, in the 100 flights, in the 100% scale, 90%, 95%, she will land. But sometimes there's 1 or 2 games that she doesn't land. She flies out of the stadium, or she lands in the field. People start doing, oh my God, the superstitious guy.
And it's
but
still
we still
now,
win.
it's still now during COVID times also.
Yeah.
Great.
We try to do what we could do equal. What we could do equal what we were doing before the COVID, we continue to do it. Yeah.
I mean,
very challenging moment.
Championship, cups, and Europa League, Champions
What, the
League
flight?
also. Yes.
Yeah, she flies. The UEFA also likes it, so she does the flights every game. Every game in the stadium, we do the flight of the eagle.
Yeah, that's great tradition. But do you have mascot on the stadium, or eagle works like mascot?
No, the eagle is real, like as you saw.
Yeah.
And then we have a mascot.
But it's not an eagle.
A mascot, like we also have one.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Also, I don't know if it's correct to ask you about social media of Benfica.
You can ask me. Social media?
Yes.
We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we try to adapt to whatever it comes, So
maybe you can say some words about the department, about your department, because
I will explain how this works.
Yes. How
my
many
department
people
is strictly
marketing.
No, I deal only with professional football.
Yeah.
There's a department of the Benfica TV channel. Their own department, independent departments. They all linked to communication of Benfica, and then communication of Benfica to the club. So Benfica TV, social network, newspaper, website of information of news, and we also have Bplay. It's a kind of platform like Netflix, where you have contents where you can see new contents. For example, if
video or not
video.
Oh, okay.
We want to. The president has been speaking about the radio, but for now we don't have radio. But we have newspaper, TV channel, social network, website, and what we do here in Benfica campus. That's where we are. We relate everything about professional football that they demand for they to do, or us. If we want to promote something, we go get or internal with these guys, or external with some newspapers from Portugal, or we do a lot of contents. Sometimes it's something crazy.
And sorry, the guys who works for external, it's still the same guys, or it's a different department?
No, external. What I mean external is the normal social communication. The normal media.
Yes,
newspapers, TVs. We work with them, or they want something from us, and they want an interview with a player, or they want to do this, they want to do that, and then we see if we want to do it. We also work with them, It's not in the way of, okay, I want you to do this and you give me that. No, but the thing is, they want an interview. Okay, if we want, okay, we're gonna give an interview. And this we have our channels, our own channels, the social media, the newspapers, Benfica Play. It's a wide world.
But how many people working for all these small sections of your department?
Here in Seychelles, we are 4: 2 press officers, 1 photographer, and 1 camera.
You're always with the team, right?
Always with the team.
Yeah.
In part of the team, Yeah. Then they have the exterior, but what we do, it's we try to work with each department of communication of Benfica.
Yeah.
To distribute, to pass the information to all of them, then to the world.
Maybe you can tell some words about your common day, let's say not much day, but in campus, how it starts or what you usually do. And
it starts with seeing what's on the press, then you read the emails of requests of what of the media asks, if they want to interview with this player or that player or some things. It's usually about requests, and what we can do, what we have to do, what we should do or we shouldn't do now, what you can do after, planning.
And did you talk with your colleagues inside, or you talk with coaches maybe that this player is now better to give interview, this guy not?
Usually we have a director of football. We have the technical director. We have the coach.
Okay.
And we have the players. And it's always a common strategy. We don't have to speak with everybody to do something, but we know the strategy, and that's what we have to follow. That's how it works. If of course, if you want someone wants to talk with the coach, you're gonna ask the coach if he wants to speak. But if you speak about interference, there's no interference. There's a strategy.
No, maybe I mean
the strategy, and we follow the strategy. If there's some doubts in what we're doing,
yes,
we get to the main channels of authority that we have to see what they want to do. But there's a strategy that we all follow, and then we go where we're gonna knock the door where we have to knock. That's how it works here.
My question is maybe, for example, there is some critical situation or a scandal situation, and it's not clear which way to act is better. With whom you discuss the possible ways of getting out of this situation? Coach, sport director?
Yeah, with the director of football. Mainly. But it's I don't know. It's a leadership way, If that's the way it works and it works good, that's the way we're gonna do. So, but if you follow the strategy and you believe what you're doing, you will always succeed. But sometimes you have to go a little bit to the side and then get back to the track.
But this strategy, it's the strategy like not time limited, or you change it every 5-10 years?
It's communication. I'm going to speak about communication. I will not speak about anything else because it's not my area. But the communication is daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. There's things that you want, that you have to do in this year, in this week. Okay, we do it by week because everything can happen. For example, you can go. You're playing very good, and suddenly you lose a left wing. You have to react. You have to do it, and now it's just not getting the player to the flash. Press attaché, because now we have to also to see what we can do in contents. Because there are requests from everywhere, from the social media, from the TV channel, from the public TV. There's a lot of requests, and you will see in what course you want to go. But there's a strategy now in the year, but also that I think you adapt week by week to what's your status in that time. That's what we do.
Yes.
But there's a way. There's a street. We go. Sometimes we have to dodge. So I have to jump, get low, and that's the way.
From my experience, it's quite difficult to have players talking after dramatic games, after bad games. What about your team? How usually behave after the bad game? For example, you lost in last minutes, or you couldn't win in 2 or 3 consecutive games. What do? You just keep silence in social media, or there is a captain or some players going and talking with the fans?
The captain cannot be only the only guy that's my opinion that has to speak. He has to speak, but doesn't have to be him, because it's always then the weight is on him. So if you're gonna put the captain to speak when he loses, you sure have to put him to speak out when they win. It's not. I'm not talking about now. Forget Benfica players. I'm talking about my opinion. If you're gonna put him speaking when he's lose, you have to put him speaking when he wins. But look, there's no way. You cannot hide.
Yeah.
When you lose in a big team, there's no way to hide. And here, the behavior is not the same because you're not happy, But in my personal experience, I can have a sad face, a bad face, but I have not a bad response. So in UEFA, we do the requirements, I don't know if you ever been in a UEFA game where they required some players for the home broadcast, the main broadcast. We fulfill the requirements. We don't avoid just because we lose. We're not going to bring. No, there's a requirements.
If there is no requirements, if you play, I don't know, cup game or in championship, maybe after the game, it's not obligatory to give an interview. Like, will you do this? Will you try to engage the player to talk when it's free, let's say, not obligatory?
It depends.
Mm-hmm.
It depends. I cannot speak about Benfica because we always have to speak.
Yeah.
In our competitions in Portugal, we always have to speak. After the game, before the game we have the press conference. After the game we have the flash interview, the press conference. So there's no way to dodge a bullet, Yeah. But I think it depends, if what you can sometimes think is because sometimes you ask yourself, why are you, to the reporters, right? Why are you asking this player? Because sometimes you understand that the request is not about the game, it's just about the player, not about the game. But then you can dodge a bullet, because sometimes you speak about. I was a journalist, and I know that the relation was changed between players and journalists with the time. But we have to think whose fault, why did that happen, and sometimes it's not a fair game. That's what I can say. I believe in the community, in media. I'm from media, but sometimes it's not a fair game with the players. That's my belief. And then you can dodge a bullet, as way of saying. But I cannot tell you what we would do. I can tell you it would depend of the situation, because in our games we always have to speak. One player, two players. But imagine okay. if I only have to put one player to speak, not two. Why would I put two? If we lose, right? I could put two players to speak if I need it. No, but why? No.
Another question: if you have some players in the team who are not ready to talk with the media, they don't like it, will you push these players to talk, or you say, okay, guys, no problem, you will not talk, it's okay, or everybody should talk with the media?
I believe everybody should talk with the media when they have to talk with the media, right?
Because
But
I
that's-
have problems, to be honest, in my team. And some players, they say, "Oh, I don't want to give an interview." No, please, not me.
Yeah, but if they have to, what do you do? No,
But
I can here. I didn't have any problem. This is my second year as a press officer. I never had any problem. You can see players that they sometimes they don't like, they don't want.
yeah,
But I think if you are honest with them, they have to believe in you, and you have to understand them. If you understand them, if you believe them, if you understand it, if you listen to them,
yeah,
not only in the game but during the week, if you listen to them and look, you have to understand the moments also of the player. The player is a person; they have moments, and sometimes you cannot give what the press wants, But that depends of the player, depends of the press officer, depends of the journalist. What I do? I feel the situation, man. I feel the situation. But I'm not. I do this for 2 years now, so I'm not. No,
I see.
I'm not an expert. I had no problems by far, until now. But what I say, I respect. I can say that as a press officer, I respect the player. I tried them to respect me and trust, and the things.
Maybe I can explain what I mean. Maybe it's different in Portugal, because in Russia, for example, tomorrow we have a game against Lokomotiv Moscow, and I or our coach, but in fact it's me personally who choose the player to go to flash in halftime. It's in Portugal like that. You choose the player or coach or somebody else.
We don't speak on the halftime.
But maybe after the game or
after the game, yeah. No, the press choose.
Okay.
And in the end of the game,
like my personal choice in my case, like I choose which player who will.
Okay, but in the league, it's usually they are the commentators of the game that choose the man of the match, and usually it's the man of the match that will speak. In the Champions League or Europa League, it's the journalist that asks. Usually there's the MVP, and then they choose. They make requests of some players, and then we give the players. And that's your problem. That's when they don't want to speak.
Yes, exactly. Even tomorrow, at the moment, I don't know which player will go, because in Russia, it should be a player who starts to play from the first minutes. And I don't know the squad at the moment. And in the morning, maybe after lunchtime, I will know the squad, and I need to choose the player, especially. And then I discuss with the coach. Sometimes it's stressful because, usually I tell player, okay, in halftime you go to talk, and he understands maybe that the result will be not good and he wants to focus on the game, but I need somebody to talk, and sometimes it's pretty challenging. Another question is about the injuries. For example, in my club, sometimes it's very difficult. We have a player, Christian Nabo, maybe you know him.
Christian Nabo, Ecuador. Yeah.
Yes, he's now the best goal scorer in Russia in championship. And he was injured some weeks ago, and the position of our club don't say anything about the heavy injuries. It was clear that he missed at least 3 weeks or even 6 weeks, but we didn't say anything. In all the media, people were talking about that, but we didn't say anything. And what is your personal position, or maybe position in your club when very good, maybe your top player injured? How do you react? How fast? And what do you write on social media and on the website?
I think we react when you know the result of what he has. We put it out to the press. When you know what he has, how much time, we put it. But then it's a weekly basis. We have what we call a clinic. not a cleaning board, but the cleaning sheet where we put the guys that are injured, and we say week by week we update the sheet, the cleaning sheet, but we what we can say is when we know what they have. You're talking about what? Don't tell to the press that the player has this injury and he will not miss the game.
Yeah. It's a secret.
It's a secret. Oh, secrecy. Oh, I can tell you one thing. If it's a secret, we should not tell. Right?
Yeah, but the media know in the end, and that's a stupid because maybe we need some kind of strategy in my case, in my club, because it could be like that press called to me and I say, okay, sorry guys, I don't talk about that. Then they call to the player, he says everything, and then the coach on press conference after the game says everything, and then it's not a secret anymore,
Yeah. So if the coach puts everything out, you did your job. If the coach it's not your fault, right?
Yeah. But still, I'm curious about the situation in different clubs, and I try to change this opinion in my club also.
Yeah, but here we know the injury. We not do it like in the States. The States, they are required to do it, right? They have to say
really?
In NBA they have that a lot of formulas. They have to say how much time we want to be out. But you expect to be. We have an injury of Andre Almeida recently, right? And when we knew there was why what happened, we alert the press. Yeah. It's going to be a long time, unfortunately.
Okay, another topic is Russian players in Portugal, especially in Benfica.
Oh, I like that topic. Yeah, about history. Let's speak about this.
Yes. You had a lot, and could you say there is because people say that in Russia for Brazilians is good condition, that we have something in similar with Brazilians, and could you say something about Russians in Portugal, how it's difficult for them to adapt, and who was the best at Benfica from Russian players?
Let me see if I can remember them all. We have Kulkov. That unfortunately passed away. You yourself gave me the news. Sergei Yurin, also Alexander Mostovoy, Kariaka,
yes.
Ovshinnikov.
Actually, Kariaka helped me to get your contact.
Oh, good. Ovshinnikov.
Okay.
There were more?
Actually, I saw in your Instagram one guy was speaking in Russian. It was one of the posts some weeks ago. I don't know who was that. It was a Ukrainian.
I don't know. Maybe? My Instagram.
No, not your. I mean Benfica Instagram.
I don't know. We have. Don't forget, we have Russian players, Slovenian, because we have basketball, handball, hockey, futsal, volleyball. So we have a lot of nationalities here. So.
But I think you called the main players from Russia.
I don't know.
No, you said all of them. I think like the most.
Oh, the players. I think so. If it's not, I apologize. But my favorite from those guys was Yurin. Sergei Yurin was my favorite. Vasily Kulkov was fantastic. When he started playing in the center in 1993, 94, there was a boost on the team back then. It was a fantastic team that we had. But they both, when they arrived, they were, I liked Yurin because Yurin was a striker, a big one, like a bear, a massive striker. It was, and I remember I was a little boy. I was 10 years or 11, and I would see them warm up, and he would shoot to the goal and hit the bar, and the goal would like this.
Yeah.
So I liked Yudin a lot. As a fan, Yudin was my favorite. But Kulkov, I think Kulkov was the most with most success. That because he was in that. Yudin also was, but they were in that game with Leverkusen 4-4 in Leverkusen. Amazing game. They were in Highbury against Arsenal in the first Champions League ever. It was the qualifications for the Champions League. We won in Highbury. They were there too. Also, Kulkov scored it. They were fantastic. And then we have the mystery of Mostovoy, because Mostovoy was in that group, and he never played that much here in Portugal. I know some rumors, some gossip, but I will not speak about it now. But they were not. There were people here that know that he was the best of the Russians playing, but those two, Kulkov, Yudin was the one those that was playing here in Benfica. Then Ovchnikov didn't have much chance because he had Michel Prudhomme. He didn't have much chance, I think. Then in Porto, he played more. And Carioca was also the same thing. He didn't play much here in Portugal, but was a good player. They were all good players. But my favorite, Sergei Yudin.
And do the fans remember? These guys now? Benfica fans.
Those that are my age, my age. I'm 40. Those that are my age or a little bit younger or a bit older, they all know Kulkov, because Kulkov scored 2 goals in Leverkusen Benfica 4-4. That's one of my generation, is one of the top games. 2-0, we were losing 2-0, then suddenly 3-2, then they 4-3 for them and 4-4. It was crazy game, and Kulkov is part of that amazing team that we had back in 1994. So Yudin is my favorite. I think Kulkov stayed more in the headlights for the fans.
Right, but maybe you can sum up somehow. Is it difficult to adapt to Russian players in Portugal? For example, all these guys, they could speak Portuguese or English when they played in Portugal, or you don't know about that?
I don't know. I was too young. I don't know if they speak Portuguese. What people say is that they had. I think Yudin spoke about it. I think that in my days, if I had a coach, if I had a player like me, I said something like that. Yudin, when he's a coach, he said, if I had a player like me, he wouldn't play, something like that, because some people say that they have a tendency to don't focus only on football. No, but I don't like to speak wrongly of people. So, but I don't believe that Russians had some difficulties in adapt. Not only in football, but I can see with Russian people that I know. He's going to forgive me. Sorry, he has to forgive me. I don't know if he's going to ever see this, but my friend Ivan Zlobin, come on. Zlobin is a very nice guy, very brilliant guy. Very good goalkeeper. I think he's going to have an amazing career because he's very good, and it's top.
And he's still in Benfica, or
no? He left for Famalicão, but I believe that he's going to be a very good goalkeeper.
He's very
good goalkeeper. He is already a goalkeeper, but I think he's going to be a very good goalkeeper, and he's a very, very intelligent man. Very, very.
He's very young now, right?
Yeah, he's young. I think he last year was the first year as he made as complete on the first division, on the first team. But how could I forget? Fantastic. And now he's my favorite. Now that I remind me. I remember. Zlobin is my favorite.
Okay.
No, but
actually, talking about Sergei Yudin, I'm from a small city of Stavropol. The team of my city now playing the second division, and Juran was the coach of that team. And I have a picture from 2004 with him. I was a small guy, and
he's still
Khimki,
big, right?
Yeah, Khimki. It's a new team in Russian Premier League, and they should play against us on the second match day. And Juran was the coach. I thought I will meet him. I will show the picture, make a new picture with him. But he was fired like some weeks before our game.
Tough luck.
But, yes. But maybe other time we meet. I hope.
Yeah.
So it's okay with time with you?
I don't know how much time we have.
If you have time, I have a lot of time. It depends on you.
Just a little bit more, 5-10 minutes, and then I have to go. How much time we have of interview already?
Already, I think 1 hour, 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay, more 10 minutes. Okay, Alex.
Okay, I want to ask about COVID. I can't avoid this topic. Also, we were talking about injuries, and in Russia now, when somebody has positive tests, people usually say that there is like unclear tests, and we need to clarify. We need more time. But I heard that in Europe it's more open, that people openly say that okay, Cristiano Ronaldo has positive test, no problem. What about Benfica? Is it open
It's
information when you have?
If they have, you have to. We say they have. There are some clubs that don't say the name of the player.
Yes, I'm talking about that, about the names.
But in Benfica, we say we have one case in the beginning of a player, and then we have one that it was that came from the national teams. We have what was David Tavares, and then Mile Svilar.
And how often you make tests if it's not
every week?
Every week. Okay.
Every week, and we have to do one before the games, 24 hours before. So sometimes twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
But we are very careful with the. We have all the procedures. The players get here. The players and the staff, everybody gets here to the facilities. There's the nurse takes the fever. Mm-hmm. New mask, gel, alcohol, and then they go. So every day there's a new mask. Temperature is taken. Every week there's a test. We started working on it since we stopped. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm not being correct. We start working on this thing of COVID much before we start here in the facilities, because they started to put here signals, things in the wall saying the health care that you need to have to prevent the virus, the alcohol, much before. I think 1 month before we already have things here to the gel. And when it stopped, the people here.
For example, your job, when you make interviews with the players, you wear mask or not?
I wear always mask. The players take the mask if the distance it's
small.
They use mask if there's no distance.
Yeah.
But if it's 2 meters distance in if they have the mask, the reporter, they can take the mask, but it has to have a bigger.
Yeah, distance. But you talk about reporters. I mean about you, staff
daily.
Of the club.
Yeah, daily.
Also, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm here without mask because I don't have nobody here in the room.
Yes, I see. So one question about the social media also, and then we go to short quiz.
Okay.
I watched your YouTube, Instagram, and I mentioned that you have kind of highlights of your games as Portugal Championship, as European competitions. But for example, I saw that Lech Benfica was a very short highlights, like 1 minute. What about the TV rights for these games? Did you buy it, or how it works in Portugal?
Now you have 1 minute 30 of. I think you have. I don't know exactly how much time you have. You have 1 minute you can have. You can use from UEFA competitions. UEFA gives to the clubs.
So you can put in your accounts, right?
You can put in our account, but it has to respect the time due of UEFA. Okay?
Yeah.
You cannot put it right back. You have to. Every competition has their requirements. UEFA requires that you can only use some footage after X time. I don't know precisely how much. For example, in Portuguese league, they have the highlights.
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah. So if it's in YouTube, you can use it, right? So they use it. But look, it's.
But you have highlights with your comments, I saw. That your commentator or like from Benfica.
Yeah, sometimes we have because the game is ours. You don't know if you know, but Benfica TV, we broadcast our games in the league. We have the rights.
Wow.
Yeah, since 2013.
You sell them to the league.
No, they are ours. We didn't sell them, but the league, because it's a competition of the league, can use.
Okay.
Wow. The league only. Not the other TVs, the league.
Wow. But it means that in Portuguese championship, the clubs, they have the rights for
only
the games.
Benfica.
Only Benfica.
Yeah. I
didn't know that. It's quite interesting. Maybe,
we did it in the broadcast.
Yeah.
We start broadcasting. We have the channel. We Benfica TV broadcasted the Premier League games, Liga games, Greek League, Major League Soccer League.
Benfica TV, really?
Yeah, I did games of Premier League commentator.
Wow,
in Serie A, Italia.
It's like TV channel, yeah.
Yeah, but Benfica TV is a TV channel on TV. It's not on the web.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's it exists since 2008. In 2013, we bought our rights to transmit the games on the league, Premier League, Serie A. I can tell you that I myself made commentator. I was a commentator on the Premier League games, Copa Sul-Americana, Brasileirão, all on Benfica TV, like a sport channel.
Also, the question, I saw that on your Instagram account, you also show different sports, not only football, and there is no just football account of Benfica.
No, that's Benfica. As I told you, Benfica main sport is football, right?
But like 10% maybe of other sports or less.
No. Benfica main is football.
Yeah.
But one thing about the fans of Benfica, they love football, but they all like to see the team wins and everything. So we have basketball, hockey, 4 wheels hockey, volleyball, futsal. You know Ricardinho? You know? He was a Benfica player. You know?
Football.
Yeah, he was a Benfica player, Ricardinho.
You mean football player, not futsal player?
Futsal, Ricardinho, futsal, indoor football.
Yeah, I know. In futsal, I know. I mean, maybe I thought he started in football and then...
No. He was a player of Benfica in futsal. He was European champion.
But I remember it's amazing technique. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was a Benfica player in the past. So we have that. We have basketball. We have 5 pavilion sports, and we have tennis table. We have swimming. We have judo. We have Tela Monteiro. Olympic medal. Nelson Évora was our player. Now he's in our rivals. He was a triple jump winner in the Olympics. Nelson Évora.
Crazy.
So we have an Olympic project. Also, we have athletes that we support to take them to the Olympics and to represent Benfica. You know, so if you have a sport, there's a chance that we have it.
And that's all. And
and they have, for example, in hockey, volleyball, handball, basketball, men and women, and since it's most of them since they are kids, all the levels of youth, that's Benfica. It's a world. Football, it's the part that you see from the iceberg, it's that big block outside of the water, but below the water there's a lot of stuff happening of sports.
Amazing. I can't imagine how many people working in your club.
I don't know the number. They're in Benfica TV, for example, more than 60.
Wow.
More than 60.
Amazing.
So, and I think I'm doing low the number. It's the biggest club in the world, my friend. But
and from the beginning, I was thinking. You said that you have 2 press attaché, and I thought, for example, like yesterday, you had a game against Standard Liège. Like your responsibilities during this game, how did you?
Okay, we have 2 press attachés for football.
Yes.
Okay, we have more in Benfica. Okay. So. Here in football, it's Nuno Farinha. It's number 1, and I'm number 2. So our day is like we have to deal with the lineups, with the pre-match interviews. We have the morning meeting with UEFA. One day before, we also have a meeting. Then we have the pre-match interview, as I told you. After. We have, the thing is, you have, for example, yesterday, 6 Sport TV, Benfica TV. This is 3 channels that could speak with the players after the game. More UEFA and Benfica, Belgian TV. I don't recall the name. So I can tell you, yesterday with players and coach. After the game was 18 interviews.
18.
80.
80?
18. 1-8.
1-8. Okay. Wow. But still.
Minus the 3 interviews pre-match and the press conference with the coach. One day before, we had Darwin Nunes speaking for the 3 Portuguese channels. And the coach speaking for the 3 Portuguese channels and press conference. But that's a normal day in UEFA. And if it's a Champions League, it's bigger.
But it's your responsibility or responsibility of other press attaché?
It's my responsibility and from Nuno, the other Nuno.
But my question was how you differ the responsibilities.
For me and him?
Yes.
The things with him is more in a normal day, UEFA, a game, is more the coach. The coach is more his responsibility. I don't deal directly with the coach. I don't have to. No, if I have, I could, but it's with him. And then the players, because there's a lot of interviews, we do both. But even in UEFA, he's number 1 press officer and press officer number 2. So the main responsibility goes to him. But I go direct with him to help him because there's a lot of things to do, a lot of interviews to do.
Okay, go to quiz.
Let's go to wrap this up
fast, and you can answer also fast. Just a moment. I think I could have.
It's a quiz about what?
About you personally, about your profession. I just ask you to answer shortly.
Okay.
How do you usually learn new things in your job?
How I do?
Yes, you learn new things in your job.
I learn speaking with other people.
Could a press officer always be honest?
Nay.
What is the most difficult thing during your work at the European level? I mean, European competitions.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What is the most difficult thing during European games in your work?
Dealing with defeat.
Could you explain a bit?
Doing my job when we had a loss,
Okay, I see.
Choose someone to speak when we lose.
Mm.
It's hard. It's not easy.
The day when you were happy at work.
I had so many.
Last time, maybe.
It's hard, But the last time was I was in the field celebrating the league title in 2019.
How many hours sleeps press attaché?
I don't know. Depends. 5. 5 sleeping in. The other 2 with the eyes closed, thinking about the day, what you're gonna do, what you're gonna say. Something like that.
Can you sleep after big games?
I need to some time to shut down. I go to PlayStation, play Call of Duty or something like that, just to cool down.
The stadium with the best football atmosphere.
Stadium of Light. I can choose ours, or I have to choose another one?
After,
okay.
maybe
okay,
after.
Okay. Stade de Luz is the best.
Yes.
I had some places with amazing atmosphere. I have to say, for me, the most impressive, because I was not still in Liverpool, Anfield, or Celtic in the Glasgow, but for me, Napoli, São Paulo.
Wow.
I was there when they returned to. They wanted to return to Europe in 2008. Lavezzi was playing there, and we lost there 3-2, and then we won 2-0. But São Paulo was amazing.
I think Europa League it was, yeah.
UEFA, Taça UEFA. It was still UEFA Cup.
Okay.
2008, yeah. It was
I remember.
Amazing. I love Napoli. Fantastic.
Great. The most stressed situation at work you had ever?
Not just as a press attaché, right?
Yeah.
Most stressful? I don't know. Okay. My first stressful situation was in 2008, the first broadcast emission of Benfica TV. We were broadcasting Benfica Napoli. Was an experimental broadcasting, but we did it live for all Portugal, and I was my first time as a reporter, and I was in the pitch doing helping the commentator, the main commentator, and then I had the flash interviews it was my first time.
Wow.
It was my stressful moment as a journalist. But live is always stressful. I like stress.
Always good.
Yeah, I did my mistakes as a rookie. I remember they say to me, "Hey, here in here, they say, no, you have Rui Costa in a tunnel. Go there to meet them." And I put my back to the camera. I left. The camera stayed there, and then I reached the tunnel, and there was no Rui Costa. And my God, now where is Rui Costa? And then when I turned, and then I saw the camera again, I was like this. Okay. Oh, I was here to meet Rui Costa, but he is not here. That was my embarrassing moment, but all was gone well. Fortunately, it was a success. That first game that we did at a TV channel. It's something that I'm very proud.
And you found him in the end, right?
Now then, I remember he came to the tunnel and said to me, "Hey, I was upstairs," and he said, "Rui Costa's in the tunnel." But I was upstairs. Yeah. It was me that said that you were in the tunnel.
Okay.
Very nice guy.
A few questions more.
Okay.
The main problem of Portuguese football.
Main problem of Portuguese football. Lack of money. I don't know. Because main problem, it's we are a small country in the nose of Europe, yeah. Because we have the best football player. We have a lot of fantastic players. I think we have one of the best 3 national teams. We have the best coaches. I think we are a small country with our problems that we must solve. But I think money is one of the main problems.
You dream as a press officer of Benfica.
Winning Champions League.
You think it's possible?
Everything is possible if you put your mind into it. Everything is possible. It can happen. It's difficult. It's hard. But you speak about dream, right?
Yeah.
That's my dream as a fan and as a press officer. I believe we can. I don't know when, but that's my dream. We work for it, but let's see. Now this year is winning the Portuguese league and the Europa League. But my dream, Champions League, twice.
Wow. Like in the 60s, yeah.
Yeah. And put the curse away,
yes,
like Jack Sparrow,
yes. Actually, I will be happy at this day also.
You don't imagine how it would be crazy, crazy.
Even Europa League will be also good.
Yeah. But my dream is that.
The last one is free advices you can give any press attaché around the world. I mean, any press attaché of football club.
My advice, once again, I don't have that experience. I have 9 years of experience as journalist, and I have 2 years now as a press officer.
Anyway,
my advice is know your players, be honest to your players. I say players, I say football players, but the players in the game, be honest and make them trust you, and then it's all about feeling the moment. And okay, in my opinion, that's the way I feel it. Communication is essential, but the players are also very important. Yeah. Respect them, respect the moment of the players. If you respect them, if they can trust you, you will have no problems. But you have to be honest. Sometimes sometimes I can see people maybe go away, just because we want to get to some objective, and players are not objects, no. And here, I can be very lucky. Maybe I'm lucky, but we have the relation. I have nothing against nobody. Nobody ever give me problems, but we have to. There are bad days, Some people have bad days. You have a bad day. I can have a bad day. The players can respect the players, respect the moments, and they have to trust you, and you have to be true for them to trust you. But this is my case, This is my way of being. It works. Maybe works here. I don't know if it works because this. I'm speaking about it. It's not them speaking about it. That's my feeling. My experience is this one. Your experience is different. But I think if you respect, and they have to respect you because you're not an authority, but you have a job. They have a job, and you have a job. Both jobs do like this. So you have to respect. But they are not objects, just people to make people happier. They are persons. They have desires, goals. Sometimes they are down. Sometimes they are up. That's my counsel.
That's it. It was Nuno Machado, the press officer of SLB.
SLB.
Football. SLB.
SLB.
Glorioso SLB.
SLB.
And the last thing I always ask my guests, could you nominate somebody from Portugal or from European football, personally, to be my next guest?
Oh, I will nominate. I would like a lot to Louis Lafitte from UEFA. UEFA Contents. Yeah, to speak with you.
Is it possible, you think?
I don't know. He's a nice guy. You have to try. He's
a media officer of UEFA? Or?
He's media officer of UEFA. Contents of UEFA.
Oh, perfect.
I don't know if we accept, but this is he's one of the nicest guys that I know in this world of communication. Very nice guy, and for sure he has a lot of stuff to speak. I don't know if he has time, because in UEFA they don't have that time, because they're always running. But Louis is one of the person that impressed me most in when I was in Lyon it was the meeting of the forum of UEFA. So good luck, Alex.
Great, thank you, and happy birthday wishes to your wife. I hope you will have a good celebration. And sorry if it was too long for me, but it was very interesting, and I hope someday we can meet and talk more, maybe in
maybe when I go to Russia, or you come here to Portugal.
Yes. Yeah.
If you come here to Portugal, I renew your shirt. I give you one new. That's a promise. Okay, Alex.
Okay, we'll record it.
Yeah, no problem. If you come here to Portugal, with COVID it's different. It's
maybe later.
Yeah, but for sure you take a shirt of Benfica from 2020, 2021.
Thank you.
Okay. See
you again. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Hasta la vista.